you so much to Redington. Thank you so much, and I learned something in the previous presentation. It was amazing. And somewhere I was trying to connect the dots of how it kind of links to the presentation I'm going to give. First and foremost, to all the partners, to all the customers sitting here, a very warm welcome from on behalf of Redington. My name is Rakshit Bhatt. I head the cloud business for Redington in India. Little over 1 year with Redington, and pretty much what is it that I am driving day in day out in Redington is about how do I strengthen Redington as an organization to get cloud into the Indian SMB space, adoption of cloud, and our partnership. And plus, last and most important aspect is how do we make it more solution oriented and services oriented as we move on with the cloud journey in India. So before I start, yeah. So pretty much let's I will request all of you to kind of visualize. We are in 2022, end of 2022, and Christmas New Year is around. But let's visualize in our mind 2025. What exactly will happen from an innovation perspective, from a future of IT perspective. And I think we heard in the previous presentation as well. But from a future of IT perspective, there are a lot of things that are going to happen. And what we see and we hear about is that there will be software development strategies, models that will change. There will be a lot of advancements in edge computing as we hear day in, day out. We're talking about blend of technologies which are creating new functionalities. Then IT, we already see it. IT is no more an enabler of an uptime of a hardware or a server or infrastructure. IT is a real business enabler in the industry today. So IT really works with the chief business officers in the corporates, and I'm sure that soon it is moving in the SMB and this SMC space as well in India. Scale is the game, and India is all about scale. And we see that in future, scaling will happen both vertically and horizontally. While we do so, it's very, very important that while we do scale, how do we do it securely? How do we automate it? So it becomes very, very important that we have to have simplification while we do that. And all about automation, CI/CD, the pipelines we talk about, technology day in, day out, will come into play. We are hearing metaverse a lot. I was in a presentation, or I was in an event with Microsoft 2 weeks ago, and we did an amazing show on Meta. And we see cloud and Meta kind of merging together. In fact, it's in cloud, but it's the additional functionality that we're talking about. And last but not least, very, very important, we see that while in the enterprise sector, it's all driven by enterprise agreements. As Redington, we see that the subscription-led cloud adoption plus the implementation and solutions around it will gain more momentum, and the trends are already talking about it. Hence, we strongly feel at Redington that our partner ecosystem, our customer ecosystem will really, really thrive and grow as we move on to the model of cloud. So that's the future of IT. I believe, I hope it kind of helped you visualize 2025 in a way, and that's where we'll drive the presentation today. Before I move forward, a bit about Redington. A lot of you, I'm assuming, are partners to Redington or will want to be partners with Redington as we move on. But Redington in India is a name, it's a brand, but there is a global perspective to Redington today. And Redington overall is one of the largest distribution and supply chain solution provider. We are an $8 billion group. We are present in 37 countries, mostly emerging markets. So Redington is all about where no one goes, Redington enters first. So that's where we help our partners, our customers, our vendors scale. Last but not least, Redington as a portfolio carries around 245 plus brands today. And what I am representing today is the cloud business of Redington. And that's a map on where we are. As we speak, our global consolidation is happening. We are expanding into territories like Turkey, North Africa, and beyond as I speak, and plus Southeast Asia for sure. We have recently moved into Bangladesh. I will now move into, and sorry for, I think there is some error in the heading, but I will quickly link it to the story about cloud. Where is it that our portfolio is today? I spoke about subscription. I said today partners work with us on the subscription model. Partners work with us on the consumption and adoption model. But here for the partners and customers, we are also talking about how do we enable you from a services and solution model, right? How do I give you as a partner the pre-sales ecosystem, the solution ecosystem to thrive with the customers, and even for the end customers, how do I help you? So while the slide is self-explanatory, from a Redington perspective, it's about, as I firmly believe, consulting-led growth. What does it mean? It really means that can I come talk to you, my team can come and talk to you, and they can know your real problems. See, there are a lot of use cases available in the market, but the real problem is only after a discussion. So can we come and meet, have a discussion with you, understand your problems, and then build on it as a solid partnership? That's for me is consulting. And from a cloud perspective, it means that we will talk about assessments, we will talk about security assessments, we will talk about your IT infrastructure assessments. And just to take a small pause here, there is a booth, and I'll talk about it at the end of it. My entire team is behind you, and they're sitting, they'll be eager to answer any questions that you have for today. Going on, anything consulting, post the assessment leads to migration. Migration has to be secure, you need to take care of the applications, you need to take care of the infrastructure, right? And then it moves into a very, very important aspect, and in the previous presentation we spoke about, is around security at a very different level, but here we are talking about security at an infrastructure and application level. Post that, the journey continues with modernization, adoption, etc. I'll touch upon it at a very, very different angle about modernization today. And last is the operations and managed services. We have a number of partners who avail managed services from us. There are some customers as well who avail services from us. And they kind of, primarily on the infra side, starts with monitoring, moves on into the level 2, level 3 operations of cloud operations. While as Redington, what we also believe, and I stated here from a pre-sales perspective, the entire ecosystem works under the model of key account management. Today, Redington in India is now organized as account management team for our partners, and supported by a very strong team of pre-sales and bid management. So the message here is, in case our partners are running on larger RFPs, RFIs, RFQs, Redington is another partner who can come and support you on that. There are certain investments that Redington is today doing, and from a future perspective we already see. Some may read that is it early or late, but I feel that the opportunity is so huge that as Redington we are investing on data analytics, design and architecture analysis, IoT edge computing, AI. And why do I say investments? Because these are such huge topics. You cannot build these competencies just by hiring people. You really have to go to the depth of building those use cases, of building those real scenarios with your partners and customers, and then you say that I have something in-house to support my partners and customers, hence it's investment in the future. A quick highlight, as I said, that where is Redington today? From a cloud portfolio, we have relationships and tie-ups with all three hyperscalers in India, namely AWS, Microsoft, Azure, and Google Cloud. Google Cloud is very recent. It's a 3-month-old relationship we have in India. With AWS, we have a 5.5-year strategic tie-up for the Indian markets, where we'll go 5x in terms of partners and customers. Microsoft, the story is quite similar. Now the question might arise that there are 3 portfolios, how does Redington manage it? We manage it absolutely as 3 different business units for each of our vendors, to be very transparent with them. In this we do wide engagement across the country. What does it mean? It means that we are present in every state. In fact, if you hear our managing director, Mr. Rajiv Srivastava, talk about it, he'll state that Redington is present in every pin code in India. And I'm kind of restating that fact here, and that's true, by the way. From a vision perspective of Redington, what are we talking about? We're talking about, you see, we have around, from AWS, around 500 partners today, Microsoft 450, 117 in Google, and these are transacting partners, right? In the 2025 vision, we see this really growing to 1,800, 2,000, and 2,000 plus partners and their customers as we move on. So that's the vision we have for 2025, and we are very, very confident that we'll be able to reach there. How will we reach there? I think now if we talk about the India story today, India's story is not at all about the metro cities. India's story is not about Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, or Bangalore. India's story is about geos. India's story is about tier 2 and tier 3 cities in India. And in fact, my personal experience, I've been to Ahmedabad, I've been to Lucknow, I've been to Chandigarh. It's amazing the kind of innovation that's happening in those cities. And the message I wanted to give to the partner and customer fraternity here is that it's amazing to do business there. And that's where, as Redington, we see that our growth journey will come from those geos as we move on. Bit on this one, again, sorry for the heading there. I think there is some image issue. But what I wanted to bring on the table today, and I will invite all of you that you do visit our booth. You can see a live demo of how a typical assessment is done. I am happy to announce that Redington has its own migration assessment toolset today. We have named it Spotlight. We have done a number of assessments for our customer environments. I will request you to avail and see those demos in the booth. Register with us, our team will reach out to you. What does this assessment is really doing? This assessment is actually helping you know your environment. What happens in a typical CIO's life today? In a typical CIO's life, when I talk to the CIOs and a lot of CXOs, the biggest problem statement today is, what asset base do I have? What environment do I have? What operating system it is running on? Is it going end of life? When is it going end of life? How soon do I have to react? Spotlight is all about that. Spotlight will help you assess, know your environment better, take business decisions of what should go where, what should remain in on-prem, what should go to a co-location, what should move to cloud, what should I modernize, what should I retire. Spotlight is all about that. I will request all of you to have a look and see the demo. And there are a couple of features there. There are CIO dashboards, there are multi-cloud deployment analysis. There are also application modernization insights. What does it mean? Application modernization is a very tough topic, easier said than done. But it will give you insights, what is ready, what is not ready. Please do look at Spotlight. Before I end my presentation today, I wanted to give a very, very different perspective on how Redington also sees the transformation happening in cloud or the digital adoption. We spoke about cloud. In a previous presentation, we heard about on-prem. So the entire ecosystem is here to stay. But there is a very different thought process that we as Redington have is around the SaaS portfolio. If we look at the SaaS portfolio across horizontal and verticals, we primarily see that the portfolio or modernization or digital adoption will happen, and it can be more, but if I look at the 5 vertical categories, we are talking about EdTech, Logistic Tech, Healthcare Tech, Events Tech, and E-commerce enablement. If you read them as verticals, underneath that, what are the horizontal solutions that will make it happen? DevOps, we spoke about it. Enterprise collaboration, data management and observability, very, very important. And conversational AI. And at the heart of it is cybersecurity. This is how the adoption, again 2025, I'm sure will be visualized in this format. With that in mind, if you look at Redington portfolio, and that is how we want to really do a 360 degree on our portfolio. We have certain partner brands in the ecosystem. We have customer sector presence across healthcare, automobile, manufacturing, banking, you name it. We also work with a lot of large GSIs in India. And the third part is the ISVs and SaaS, which are part of our portfolio today. And as I said, linking it to my previous slide, if it makes sense to look at adoption from a SaaS perspective, we'll be more than happy to add to this portfolio. And ISV for me is a very, very strong focus. While it comes from the vendor or hyperscaler ecosystem, but at Redington as well, that remains a very strong focus for us. Our association, last slide for me. Please do visit our booth that's there in the back of you, and then meet and connect with the experts. Thank you so much for listening to me, and thank you for knowing Redington more. Happy to answer any questions this evening that you have. I'll be around. Thank you so much.